Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We are doing exclusive episodes and videos on Patreon and Spotify, so be sure to check them out if anything. There's only a few just to get you guys started, but there will definitely be more. I want to talk about The Declaration by Ashanti, so let's get into it. The Declaration is the fifth studio album by American singer Ashanti, released on June 3rd, 2008 by the Inc. Records and Universal Motown Records. The album includes the single The Way That I Love You. Ashanti said during her June 2nd appearance on the television program 106 in Park that she recorded 52 tracks for the album, of which 15, including the bonus tracks Why and Hey Baby After the Club, were used. This is her last album to be released on Irv Gotti's label, The Inc. Records. Rest in peace to Irv Gotti. It is very sad that he is gone. As far as with Ashanti, I know that she's worked so hard. Because if you guys go back to my previous episodes, I've talked about her debut, which is her self-titled, okay, Ashanti. I've talked about Chapter 2. I've talked about Concrete Roads. Okay? So it's just, she's come a long way. And it's been over 20 years now. And I gotta say, it's going on towards 25 soon. Okay? But, yeah. As far as with this album, you know, she wanted to, you can say cut ties, but she just wanted to just release herself from, you know, Murder Inc., just go independent. And I believe that is what she did as far as with her, her next album from there. Yes. As far as with, let's see here, how well it did. It didn't. It received generally mixed reviews from music critics. At Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics, the album received an average score of 52 based on 11 reviews indicating mixed or average reviews. Okay, Yahoo Music, someone from there felt that the album was surprisingly short of anything even approaching a commercial hit, but even without instant hooks to grab onto, it's amazingly compelling. They called The Declaration a supremely subtle and sophisticated record, as well as the best album of Ashanti's career. So that is their critique. We got a few people critiquing here. Yeah, but based on the star ratings, it's giving more of a 3 out of 5 average. Let's see. Well, commercial performance. See, that's why I stay unbiased here. The Declaration debuted and peaked at number 6 on the U.S. Billboard 200, selling 86,000 copies in its first week of release. It marked Ashanti's lowest opening sales for a regular studio album to then, and was a considerable decline from her previous effort, Concrete Roads, which had opened to sales of 254,000 units in 2004. On the top R&B hip-hop albums chart, the album debuted at number 2, where it spent a total of 34 weeks on the chart. By October 2008, The Declaration had sold 246,000 copies. So, this is what I see here. It did debut in the top 10, though it did not sell as well. This was also her leaving a label, and through different types of things going on at this time, people are definitely, downloading music, okay? And, you know, if you're buying it off of iTunes, you may buy it off iTunes, but once it's released, people are, you know, this was that type of time. And it's terrible because it wasn't nice. I didn't agree with it. Of course, people, yeah, they were making their own copies of people's music and, but, you know, for it to be in the top 10, you know, there's the people that say, hey, you know, she was in the top 10. Yeah, she's in the top 10. And like I've said, if you're in the top 20, I give you, you know, you going off, because with the sense of where, even if you look at my recent Monica video where All Eyes on Me had been released. That's her third studio album, mind you. All Eyes on Me was released in Japan, and didn't waste no time for people to pirate the whole album from Japan, to where they had to rework the album and give us what we know as After the Storm. So, of course, there was instances of that with a lot of artists, and I think that, you know, with, like I said, you know, things that were possibly changing with, you know, Ashanti, as far as with just wanting to do things her way and you know, going independent, that plays a part too. And then I've also talked about marketing and promotion when it comes to albums as well. And I do believe that even though, because, you know, I when I last had talked about Ashanti, which was about Concrete Rose, the album, pretty much based on when it had came out, it was expected to do really well. But then, you know, there was all these other things going on at that time, and promotion and everything got halted for Concrete Rose, despite her being on John Tucker Must Die, which is a good movie. We may talk about that. But, and that's another thing. That movie came out before this. So this was her coming out after that movie. So, you know, that was another thing where it was just like, you know, Ashanti was still active at this time. But let's get into the track list. So track 1 is Intro. Track 2, The Way That I Love You. Track 3, You're Gonna Miss. Track 4, So Over You. Track 5, Struggle. Track 6, Girlfriend. Track 7, Things You Make Me Do, featuring Robin Thicke. Track 8, In These Streets. Track 9, Good Good. Track 10, Body on Me, featuring Nelly and Akon. Track 11, Mother. Track 12, Shine. Track 13, The Declaration. Track 14, which is the US, iTunes, and International Digital bonus track, Why. And then the United Kingdom bonus track, Hey Baby, After the Club, featuring Mario Winans. But yeah, she debuted at number 6 on the US Billboard 200, number 2 on the top R&B hip hop albums, as opposed to at the end of the year, she still was in the 200s, well, top 200. You guys know what I mean. She still was in the top 200, you know, in the Billboard 200 with 169, as opposed to U.S. top R&B hip hop albums. She was 45. So for me, with these chart placements, and mind you, there's CD and digital download, so it's not just, you know, going to get a CD. You know, people are purchasing it on whichever retail they choose. As far as 169 by the end of the year, that's not bad. That means that, you know, when people were still going into the store, they seen it, they may have just said, all right, I'm gonna get this with this, and that's good. When you're in this, when you're still in the 200, Billboard 200, and they talk about it, and I see it a lot more now, where it's like, this album has been charting in the 200 for this many years, or this, you know, even down to Thriller is still in the Billboard 200 chart. So it's just, when you're in that chart and you kind of stay there, that means that you know, that album, it's still pushing. Okay, so for her to be at 169 is still not a bad thing. I know with people, they'll be like, well, that's not a great thing. It's like, well, that doesn't mean that there's not still sales coming in. And you know, with Spotify and Apple Music now, you know, you guys can go and stream, okay? So I thought it was a good album. It still is a good album. And no, I'm not that type of channel to just be so biased and be like, this is good, this is. I don't be always feeling like when I talk about things in my commentary that there's much that I need to kind of be negative about. I guess that's just me being an empath, an empathetic person. Like, if I feel as though that there's something in something that is good, that's why I'm here. Okay, like, we just need to talk about more great things and good things. It doesn't have to always be bad. However, it is bad that it did not sell as much as her previous album, which got halted from marketing and promotion. You know, that is not a good thing. And I feel like, you know, from her perspective, it was when she just felt, okay, well, I'm gonna do things my way now. And Sierra's one too. Sierra, I talked about, so you guys can check out Sierra as far as with her going independent at some point and doing, you know, doing her own thing, and still is. So it's just, it goes there. But I thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.